All right, so today we're going to dive into something that I think a lot of people find pretty intimidating,
Yeah.
and that's work permits.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, we're talking about getting a work permit in the Czech Republic as an Indian citizen.
Okay.
And specifically, we're looking at the employee card, which
Yeah.
is, I guess, like the main
Right. Yeah,
way
yeah.
to do this, right?
Yeah, the primary one for sure.
Yeah, and we've got this guide that seems to lay out all the steps. And I think our goal today is to kind of pull out the essentials,
Yeah.
the things that you really need to understand to get a grasp on this process without,
hmm
getting too bogged down in the bureaucratic weeds.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think international work permits always seem
Right.
so complex, but if you
Oh.
can just focus on like the core requirements, then it becomes much more manageable.
Right.
And what I find interesting about the Czech system is just how specific they are about each stage.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, so let's unpack the very first thing, and that's getting a job offer.
Yes. Right.
Now, it's not just any job, though.
No.
The guide points out that the position actually has to be listed on this thing called the Central Register of Job Vacancies,
Oh, right.
specifically for employee card holders.
Okay.
So you need that offer from a registered employer before you can really do anything else.
Yeah, that's absolutely the foundation. And that registry exists because the Czech Republic really wants to balance the needs of their own labor market
Right.
with the demand for like specific international skills.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of the
Wait.
official green light for an employer to say, yeah, we need to hire from abroad for this role.
Okay, so job offer is secured.
Check.
Then comes the document gathering.
Right, the fun part.
Um, so passport needs to be valid for at least 6 months beyond
Oh, wow.
your intended stay.
Okay,
You need the usual passport photos.
sure.
But then there are a few things that I thought were kind of interesting.
Okay.
So obviously proof of accommodation,
Makes sense.
where you're going to be living. Employment contract, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also need to get a criminal record check, not just from India,
Right.
but from any country where you've lived for more than 6 months in the past 3 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that to me feels like a detail that you really need to get on top of early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that multi-country criminal record check isn't just bureaucracy.
Yeah.
I think it really signals that the Czech Republic places a huge emphasis on security for
Right.
anyone who's going to be a long-term resident.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that people might overlook. So you got to get those applications started early.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, you'll also need travel medical insurance covering at least 30,000 euros
Okay.
and proof that you have enough money to support yourself when you first arrive.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so documents are all in hand.
Yep.
Next step is engaging with the Czech embassy in New Delhi for a long-term visa appointment.
Okay.
And this is where it gets very specific.
Huh.
It's all done by email. The address is newdelhi.visa
Okay.
at mzv.gov.cz, but the subject line has one very strict rule.
Right.
Only your passport number in all caps.
Wow. So nothing else.
Nothing else.
That's so specific.
Very specific.
Okay.
Um, and I think the reason they do this is because it just helps them filter
Right.
and manage a high volume of emails.
That makes sense.
An incorrect subject line could mean your email gets missed,
Oh, wow.
and that could cause unnecessary delays.
Yeah, for sure.
It just highlights how crucial it is to follow their instructions to the letter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the email itself needs to include some very specific information as well.
Okay.
So your full name, date of birth, passport number,
Yeah.
the purpose of your travel, which in this case is employment,
Right.
contact details, and a scanned PDF of your passport's photo page.
So it's like they're leaving no room for guessing.
Yo.
They want it exactly this way.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think, again, that's just about efficiency on their end.
Right.
They want all the initial information they need in a consistent format so that they can streamline the appointment scheduling process.
It's all about streamlining,
Yeah,
which ultimately benefits you if you follow the rules.
exactly.
Okay.
So you've emailed, you've secured your appointment.
Fingers crossed.
You go to the embassy, you submit your application with all your documents.
Okay. Yeah.
Be prepared for a possible interview.
All right.
They're going to collect your biometrics.
So like fingerprinting and stuff?
Yeah, usually fingerprinting.
Okay.
And there's an administrative fee of around 5,000 Czech koruna.
Gotcha.
Um,
So like a couple $100?
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And then comes the waiting game.
The worst part.
I know.
Just sitting around twiddling your thumbs.
So the Ministry of the Interior usually takes about 30 to 60 days to process these employee card applications.
Oh, okay.
But the good news is you can track the status online.
Oh, that's good. At least you're not just completely in the dark.
Exactly. And that, I think, can help to ease some anxiety.
For sure.
But, 30 to 60 days is typical, but it's always good to be prepared for potential variations.
Right.
Things happen.
Of course.
Right. So you're approved,
Yeah.
you get your entry visa.
Awesome.
But it's not over yet.
Oh, no.
There are still steps you need to take once you arrive in Czech Republic.
Okay.
So within 3 working days, you need to register with the foreign police.
All right.
And then there's another appointment to get your biometric data collected for the actual employee card itself.
Gotcha. So a couple more hoops to jump through even once you land.
Yeah, just a couple more.
But it sounds like those are more like formalities.
I think so.
Okay.
And, they just want to officially integrate you into the Czech legal framework
Right.
for foreign residents.
Makes sense.
So the foreign police registration confirms your presence,
Mm-hmm.
and the biometric data is what's used for your official identification document.
Okay.
The guide also gives some really practical advice, like making sure all your documents are in the required format and officially translated into Czech if needed.
Oh, right. Of course. Because they need to be able to actually read the documents.
Exactly.
Right.
Keep copies of everything you submit just in case.
Always good advice.
And this is really important. Stay updated on any visa policy changes through the official government websites.
Yeah, that's key because things can change.
They do.
And you don't want to get caught out.
Exactly. And those official translations, they're essential for the Czech authorities to be able to assess your documents accurately.
Right.
And being aware of any policy changes can prevent those, unexpected complications
Definitely.
and ensure that your application aligns with the current requirements.
Very important.
Okay, so to recap,
Yes. Let's summarize this beast.
you first got to nail down that job offer in the official registry,
Step 1.
then get all your documentation perfectly in order,
Uh-huh.
pay really close attention to those criminal record checks.
Multiple countries.
Multiple countries, yep.
Don't forget.
Then you follow the embassy's incredibly specific email instructions to get your appointment.
Right.
Submit your application, go through the processing time, handle the registrations and the biometrics once you're in the Czech Republic.
It's a journey.
It is a journey, but, breaking it down into these phases,
Yeah.
I think makes it a lot less intimidating.
Yeah, it does feel much more manageable when you kind of chunk it out like that.
Absolutely.
So for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
think about which of these steps might be the biggest hurdle for you personally.
Right.
Like, for example, that multi-country criminal record check
Yeah.
or getting those official translations. That might take longer than you anticipate.
Right.
So, proactive planning around those potential bottlenecks
Yeah.
could really make a difference in the long run.
Couldn't agree more. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive
Absolutely. This was great.
into the Czech Republic's employee card.
It's a fascinating system.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see you next time.